Hazard Pay is back on, baby. It's in the third stimulus package. But will it be in the fourth stimulus package? We will find out in the next few days. In this throwback video, we go over Hazard Pay, that $10,000 from the HEROES Act, who are essential workers and more. Enjoy this overnight LATE video about Hazard Pay. Major exciting news only today, only on LALATE, as a second stimulus deal needs to get done by October 1st. And as your stimulus checks 10 days thereafter. Really exciting news based upon this letter that you're only going to see on this channel. I'm not floundering. We all miss our Mitch Lobster bill. I'm not floundering. There's no catfish here. I'm not taking you to Red Lobster. I'm not going to pull a muscle telling you this news. But, let's get to the seaweed. Because AOC really needs some seaweed for her pot bill. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LLA. I hope you're good and safe. This is Afternoons with big, exciting news starting every day at 3:30 about the check and now Hazard Pay. Coming up after this is PUA and unemployment 30 minutes after this video, so don't miss that. And finally, rent. If there was a day to really subscribe to this channel, it's today. We are breaking shocking developments on a timeline no one else is covering, whether it's print or broadcast media, whether it's other channels. No one's covering what you're going to hear on this channel today. So go to the front of this channel and subscribe. You should be subscribed to this channel and drop your comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. I'll be answering some of your 695 questions from yesterday. Also like this video because this is going to be one of the best darn videos you're going to hear today. Let me explain to you a little bit more about what I broke 30 minutes earlier, and let me get to the details of this incredible timeline. You know, the second stimulus package is important to understand that it involves a lot of stuff and can involve Hazard Pay. And what I want to make very clear before I get into details is the following, just a personal note. This channel is not a one-subject channel. I started on April 25th with 5 videos that day. PUA, EIDL, EIDL grant, and 1 or 2 others. I can't remember what they were. But I covered videos from the very beginning of this channel to get people anywhere from $5 to $25 million they were entitled to, but had not gotten it, but for problems during CARES Act 1. And as we sit here today, some viewers of this channel simply only care about a check. I understand that is only your concern, but the stimulus package involves more than just checks, and it also involves Hazard Pay. So when I record a video, I separate the videos onto different subject matters. Hazard Pay is this one, unemployment is next, and rent is next. For some people, a lot of these videos apply to them as well. All the videos apply to them. So understand this is not a one-subject channel. And let's get to this subject right now, Hazard Pay. Oh my goodness, the push is underway to really get Hazard Pay finally enacted into law. And what you're only going to hear on this channel is the push is October 1st. October 1st is the date that is the focus to get this ratified into law. Why are you hearing this for the very first time after weeks of reporting on this channel just today? It's because there's a big deadline that has nothing to do with you and has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with when, Nancy's hair needs another appointment. It has to do with the airlines. And their deadline is so utterly important for purposes of their industry that their industry will collapse if they don't get their deadline met by October 1st. Why do they have something to do with you and Hazard Pay? Very simply is because they're going into the stimulus package in which Hazard Pay is in which the stimulus check is in. And because they're on a deadline, they're pushing all of us with our stimulus check and stimulus package provisions, whether it's PPP or EIDL or whatever. They're pushing all us to the finish line to get us done also by October 1st. This is insanely great news. And I understand as you sit here today, you're like, well, I've been waiting for my Hazard Pay for weeks, Al. Like, why are these people taking precedent over me? They're not taking precedent over you. They are a bunch of very rich people in a very well-lobbied industry that are getting their needs met, but ironically, they're helping you because their needs are in a package in which your needs are. So they're telling Congress, you got to do this by the deadline. What is this deadline and how does it work and what does this letter say and why are we so really excited and energized going into Monday? The letter and the deadlines are the following. It says that you have to have this by law by October 1st. By law means the president has to sign it on October 1st. So as you know, because you've watched this channel on a daily basis, you count back 2 more days. The 30th of September. Yeah, if Larry Kudlow's watching this, there's not 29 days in September. There's 30 days. The 30th, the day before, is the day that the House would sign it into would ratify it, vote it and ratify it. And the day before that, the 29th, is the date at which the Senate would vote on it and approve it. So 29th the Senate, 30th the House, the 1st the President signs it. And how soon thereafter would you get your stimulus checks? About 10 days thereafter, if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or Railroad benefits, and you're signed up for electronic deposits based upon representations by Steve Mnuchin. This is insanely great news. How about hazard pay? Okay, so let's talk now about getting your hazard pay to the finish line. Hazard pay is in the HEROES Act. It's not in the Problem Solvers bill. We know why. I've gone over that. It's because the Problem Solvers went to meet with Nancy. She went to answer the door, literally, and they didn't put it in there. So we're now sort of fighting to catch up because of Nancy's inability to even talk to people. It's just ridiculous. I just can't believe I'm even saying this. But so we're trying to get hazard pay back in there. Getting hazard pay back in there is not a Herculean task. It's not an impossible task. Why? Because everyone that is calling for the vote of the Problem Solvers bill next week is not calling for a vote of the exact bill. They're calling for a ramped up version of it. Since Thursday, Republicans and Democrats have called for a vote on the hazard pay, on the Problem Solvers bill, but say it has to have more stuff in it. Great. This is the time to put the hazard pay in there. This is the time to put in the hazard pay in there. So if you've seen my tweets in the last hour, I've been tweeting a calendar. And the calendar has September and October on the calendar, the 29th, the 30th, and the 1st of October. And I put on there the provisions of what needs to be modified under the Problem Solvers bill. And the provision that needs to be modified is the addition of hazard pay. I put in the Romney plan. I personally like the Romney plan. I've been with you for a while as, you know, as your host, and you have been as my viewers, and I've heard your concern that Pelosi screwed you over with the hazard pay bill that she wrote. The number of the value of the hazard pay is good, but the clauses, I think, are going to screw you over. The provisions of hazard pay under the HEROES Act that Pelosi's pushing, well, not, written and is on her desk somewhere, push it. She's not doing much of anything with it. It calls for the employer to, at their discretion, at their determination, when they feel in the mood or they don't have to, maybe if they want to, apply for hazard pay. That's not set well with the viewers of this channel, nor me. I've always told you that's a hot mess expressed unto itself. I've always said to you, there's a potential your employer never applies for you. And I don't think that this should be a bill where people just sort of decide whether they want to do it. Yeah, I just don't feel in the mood to do it. And the bill actually says they don't have to do it, her bill. So I said the Romney plan. The Romney plan, I think, is better. The Romney plan is better because it requires your employer to apply for you. It does not make it discretionary. It pays the employer to apply for you, which is, you pay people to do things, they generally do it. And I understand the Romney plan pays you less money than the HEROES Act, but it's money that you will get because the employer will be required to get it for you. In the last couple of weeks, I've detailed a lot for hazard pay in which there's been protests across the country. There have been calls upon grocery chains, whether it's Kroger or Whole Foods, for businesses that just don't want to pay you hazard pay. Do you think the same employers, when it becomes a federal law under the HEROES Act, will go apply for hazard pay after they've not wanted to give you their own hazard pay? You decide. I'd rather have you have the security and knowledge that it is required by law for your employer to apply for you. And that's why I'm pushing the Romney plan. You can push another thing. But the great news as we sit here today is we have 10 days approximately to get this push going and done. The 29th and the 30th of September is not this coming week, it's the week after. So you have to be on social media hitting and slamming and saying, vote on us and get it done. And I support hazard pay and put hazard pay in there, add it to the problem solvers bill, and let's get it done. It's as simple as that. United Airlines, Scott Kirby, CEO, on United Airlines stationery. Here's the letter. Boy, letter to Steve Mnuchin, Kevin McCarthy, Schumer, Pelosi, McConnell. He's writing on behalf of 87,000 employees that are facing layoff October 1st. We recognize the severe impact the virus is having on the entire economy, and the need for support touches on many individuals, organizations, and programs. On behalf of 87,000 aviation professionals at United Airlines, we're joining together to respectfully urge a restart of critical negotiations to include a 6-month extension on payroll support program for airline employees. Without additional funding for the grants, up to 16,000 members of United Airlines are at risk of involuntary furloughs beginning October 1st. His economic numbers are no good. Throughout the remainder of the third quarter, we expect passenger demand to be down over 70% and revenue down 85% from 2019 levels. In the midst of this unprecedented dire circumstances, United has continued to serve more than 99% of domestic markets that we served before the pandemic, and yet we've added more than 5,000 cargo-only flights to ensure that goods and essential medical equipment can get to those communities in those times of needs. Amen. I mean, basically what he's saying is that and the reason why I want to read this letter is on behalf of all essential workers. This is an example of people who worked as essential workers and are still now working as essential workers, but there's not enough money to pay them. And you're valued as an essential worker, you need to be paid. And so as we sit here today, what's going on is that if they do not get this approved by October 1st, the airline industry will collapse. Massive layoffs. All those people who are furloughed by federal law, there has to be a determination about their employment future on October 1st. Either fired or hired. And they say if we don't get the grant, they're fired. It's as simple as that. They're not going to use the word fired on a letter, but that's the scariness of it. As you sit here tonight, the important thing, or this afternoon, depending if you're on the East Coast or West Coast time to time, is that hazard pay can become a part of the bill. It absolutely categorically can. It's coming back from the ashes like the phoenix. I mean, a week ago we said hazard pay for a federal purpose would never exist because Heroes is imploding. Well, now the push is to get Problem Solvers Plus done and voted upon. Representatives, both House and Senate, Republicans and Democrats say that there's a vote coming up next week. And so with that, let me answer some of your 699 questions from yesterday. Deborah, hello, LALATE and the Purple Power. Here we go again with nothing for another week. These crooks better get me some money. Fountain of Youth, positive mental attitude. People, it's the only way. Sean Evans. Big bailout for Puerto Rico. What happened to working Americans? Jamie Barker. If I could avoid pot, I'd be smoking through the handleless mess. Alton Dixon. LA for Congress. You need to do the run for office. You'd have my vote, even if it's state representative. Think about it. Thank you for your great updates. P.S. I think you're doing a great job in office. Let me rephrase. I know you'll do a great job in office. That's a character and personality. I think a lot of people will think you should run for office. The power of the purple power. Well, thank you, Alton Dixon. I really appreciate that. Elise White. I'm sitting here getting high, waiting for Nancy. Jason, Tripp has been saying about the executive orders, but he's been talking about nothing. I don't know who Tripp is. Catherine Schnook. Let's do a flight to Washington, leave the Treasure Coast. Thaddeus Armstrong. Why are these states, including Wisconsin, not use the money earlier that they were given to update their systems, knowing we would need for LWA later? Donna Dew. I don't think we're going to need a check. I don't think we're going to get a check too many games to play. That's not the spirit of this channel. If your spirit is nothing's going to happen, I don't need it, I don't see it, tell me when it's in my bank account, that's not the spirit of you need to go looking somewhere else. This is the channel that has gotten viewers $10 to $20 million that they were not getting, but I pushed them. I found the path and the manner in which to get them the check. I had viewers who had given up. Their businesses were imploding, their employees were being laid off, and I got them hundreds of thousands of dollars because I said, no, you're not giving up. I'm going to get you the money and we're going to get through this together. And they got through it together. I save businesses, I save families. And so if you want to give up, there's a door over there. Mahala Lillian, I hope it will go okay for Social Security and SSI. I do so. One of the things I tweeted also in that tweet is that minor dependents and adult dependents should get the full stimulus check, $1,200. As you know, the problem solvers proposed $500. I don't think that's appropriate. Kathy, everyone needs to stay positive. This is God's country. I can tell you good things are coming. Amen. That's the spirit, Kathy Wheeling. Veronica, Elise, happy Friday. Everyone cheers the weekend. Yes. Carlita, I hope he does something before our economy tanks completely. Has it not already tanked completely? SoCal Ronnie, well, Democrats are upping the game. Put on. Yay, amen. I agree. Dawn Everson, we need federal hazard pay. We're essential. Amen. Madeline Kravik, we need executive orders for second stimulus checks. We do. But at the moment, the president is probably going to bet on this is the manner to get it done as well. His executive orders at the moment a backup. Courtney Marouche, honey, it'll be a big day when they send out the stimulus checks. They keep on, let's see it. Good afternoon, Mr. Purple Power. Betty Black, oh, good afternoon. Tamara Young, LA, how you doing? I'm good, how are you? Cindy Ackerman, I'm in Pennsylvania. I got all 6 weeks of LWA. Good. Tony Daunt, good evening, LA. Well, good evening. Sherry, I must say I watched Nancy today and she was definitely defending hazard pay. Good to know. Thomas, thank you for giving us so much power and the purple power and fellow Americans. I appreciate that. As we sit here today, this is what you need to understand as the takeaway. Hazard pay needs a push, and the push is you. You need to push the hazard pay by going on social media, tagging the problem solvers, tagging the New Age Democrats, tagging the Blue Dogs, tagging your politicians, saying, hey, you want to go do Supreme Court justice discussions, you want to go do federal balanced budgets, you don't want to do hazard pay, you don't do a stimulus, there's the door for you as well, because we're voting you out. Seats for stimulus. You need to get this stuff done. Now, I got to tell you, you can't stop the pressure. Last week, the pressure of the purple power worked. Republicans and Democrats, House and Senate, came out on Thursday and Friday saying we're voting this week. I don't want you to sort of sit back and say, oh, we're done. And we're done. We got them to vote. No, you got to keep on pushing. You got to keep on pushing from here all the way to early next week, because this is going to be a push to the finish line. And we're all here together. So when you tweet something, add the hashtag Purple Power so we see one another's tweets and we retweet it. And certainly hit the same thing on Facebook. Share these videos, tag your politicians, and also be part of this community if you've not already. Go to the Friends channel, subscribe, and drop your comments below, and I may feature them tomorrow's recording. Also like this video, because this is a video that has stayed with you and hazard pay since day one. Coming up next is unemployment assistance. If you have questions about the future of FPUC, you need to watch that video, or questions about LWA, PUAUI. It's been a great day, and it's going to keep on getting better. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and save LA for more.